Hi everyone, I'm Naimul from University of Maryland, College Park. I'm glad to present our work on the HaLLMark effect, supporting provenance and transparent use of large language models in writing with interactive visualization. This work was a collaboration between University of Maryland, George Mason University, Stony Brook University, University of Toronto, and Aarhus University. The focus of this work is LLM-based code writing. Nowadays, we use different large language models for writing. For example, a writer can prompt ChatGPT or Google Docs to write a sentence, paragraph, or even a short story. While this paradigm has revolutionized how we perceive writing as a creative task, one critical concern for writers who want to use LLMs is properly attributing contributions from the AI. Consider the scenario of writing a fiction while using an LLM. After some time, the writer may wonder, what did I write? What did the AI write? This gives rise to an ownership tension among the writers and hampers their agency and control over the process. Identifying contributions from the AI is also important for writers who need to conform to various AI-assisted writing policies. Authors kindly have few mechanisms to track their accountability with regard to these rules and policies. In this project, our goal was to capture and visualize interaction between an LLM and a writer, or capture the provenance of how a document has evolved over time. To start, we reviewed existing guidelines on AI-assisted writing. This was necessary to understand what information we need to track to support provenance and transparency. We found three broad dimensions from our analysis of the policies. The first dimension is prompt category. All policies separate prompts that seek generation of new content versus editing an existing text. The second dimension is how writers use the AI responses, whether they have used the edited text directly or they have written something influenced by AI. Finally, while rare, some policies require writers to report some summary statistics like percentage of text written by the AI or percentage of text influenced by the AI. Let's now see how we address these dimensions in a writing tool. We used a soft prompt to categorize prompt as either generating new content or editing an existing text. Detecting AI-written text is simple. We just need to track whether a text generated by AI was used verbatim in the document or not. However, detecting AI-influenced text is more challenging. One way to achieve this is to calculate similarity between the document and the responses from AI and flag anything beyond the threshold similarity score. We explored different methods for that. For example, we evaluated BLUE, a similarity matrix widely used in NLP. We also tried out the AI detector from OpenAI. However, both methods turn out to be really unreliable and random. In fact, OpenAI has removed that model from their API. There are also other concerns. The concept of AI influenced is subjective. For example, after multiple rounds of editing and generation, a writer may feel that they fully own the text and there is no AI influence here. Thus, we decided that we should prioritize writer's judgment and let them mark what is AI influenced. We have combined all these dimensions in a writing tool that we call HaLLMark. The interface of HaLLMark is divided into three parts. On the left hand side, there is a text editor where one can read or write. The text editor can be viewed in a full view mode while hiding all other components. The text highlighted with orange color is AI written, while the green color means AI influenced text. The second part includes a prompting interface similar to ChatGPT. Below that, we see responses from GPT-4 in different cards. Let's see how these two parts work together. The user can prompt GPT-4 and receive responses. They can then copy the response to the clipboard and paste it into the editor, While HaLLMark automatically marks any text copied from the GPT-4 responses as AI written. If a writer changes part of the text written by the AI, the editor will remove the highlight. However, as we have mentioned earlier, writer has the full autonomy to mark or remove any mark from the text. For example, as shown on the screen, the writer is writing a new text but thinks AI is still influencing the text. The writer can select the text and highlight the text as AI influence. The writer can optionally link a prompt to the text. Similarly, writer can also remove text highlights as they wish. The third part of the interface visualizes the writing and prompting interface activities. On the top, we see some summary statistics like number of prompts or percentage of AI written text in a pie chart. Below that, we see writing history, like writing a new paragraph with the gray rectangles. Even below that, we see rectangles for each prompt. The rectangles are colored either purple or blue, depending on whether they represent edit or generation of new content. The text and visualization are tightly coupled. Writers can click on the text to see linked prompts. Same things happen when writers click a prompt from the visualization on the right. Using HaLLMark, we conducted a user study to understand the benefits of tracking provenance in LLM-based core writing. We compared HaLLMark with a ChatGPT-like interface. The interface is exactly like HaLLMark, except there are no visualization or text highlighting. Using the two interfaces, 13 creative writers wrote 2 short stories. We found that when using HaLLMark, writers reduced AI-written text by a large margin. Standardized effect size indicate a very large practical difference. However, from the right, we see no practical differences in the number of prompts used by the writers. We also found that writers rated HaLLMark significantly higher in terms of how it improved their ownership of the stories, their transparency in it, and how useful the tool would be in conforming to AI-assisted writing policies. In terms of qualitative feedback, there are many in the paper, but I just want to highlight this one quote from a participant. Quote, "It made me feel less confused in a way, even to myself, like what did I generate, what did the AI generate, what was influenced by the AI. And it gave me sort of this feeling of reassurance and control that I did not find in the baseline interface." While the feedback was generally positive, participants feared that if they become too transparent, people would start judging them and criticize them very harshly. Thus, we need to normalize transparency around LLM-based writing and at the same time avoid harshly criticizing writers who want to use LLM support. With that, I want to thank everyone and welcome everyone to my talk at Ghai. In the meantime, please see our paper on archive. Thank you.